Today we're going to be talking about My Bromance, Entangled with You episodes 14 and 15, Artifice, and Coming Out on Top. So don't change that video because we'll be starting right now. Hi, welcome to Queer Fudanshi, where I share LGBTQ and BL Media through news, reviews, and good conversation. Today is Wednesday, and that means it's time for the last week's Queer Reviews, where I share LGBT media by letting you guys know what they are, how to watch them / buy them, and my quick thoughts on it. This is a non-spoiler conversation, so if you guys want spoiler talk about these properties, then I have blog posts where I have full spoilers linked in the description. So let's get talking. First, we're going to be talking about My Bromance, the movie. This movie is about two stepbrothers, Golf and Bang. This is a Thai movie, by the way, and it's about Golf, who is living very sadly. His father's neglectful, his mother sadly passed away, and so he's feeling very conflicted and angry about his life so far. And then suddenly his father comes one day with a new wife and a new son saying, "This is your family, accept it." And he has trouble with that, of course. And so we have this Golf who is very volatile and angry, and then we have this new Bang who is very gentle and accepting and loving. And the two first conflict with each other and then eventually learn to accept each other and then become best friends and then brothers and then lovers. As for my thoughts for this movie, the first 2/3 are absolutely wonderful, beautiful, fantastic, loved it. I would have given it 5 stars out of 5. I loved the two main characters who were so charismatic and have great chemistry between them. The sort of at first volatile and angry Golf once again, and then the gentle Bang. It makes a great connection and counterbalance. But then of course Golf is actually who I consider to be the lead for the movie, and then he really transforms and changes throughout the movie. He adds a lot of character development, which I think is great writing for that character. He is that volatile and angry person, but then he becomes more of a protective older brother / lover, and then more happens, but I won't spoil it here for you. In addition, I loved the directing in the first 2/3 of this movie. The cinematography specifically was wonderful. The different shots and angles that they got, the crisping, clean clarity of the camera was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I took so many pictures and gifs. But sadly, that great directing ended in the third half of this movie. The third act was absolutely terrible. It was rushed, it was sloppy, it was a mess. The directing completely just fell apart, as too did the writing for the story. I'll tell you that the shift happens after a time skip, and literally the rest of the movie is in 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, a whole bunch of crap happens that is just thrown in there. Not a lot of explaining of how much time is happening, not a lot of explaining what the feelings are going on and everything. It was just a complete mess. That said, I can see if the reasoning for that is that the actors or the characters are going through this hectic, year or months or so, and they try to express that through the story to the audience, but ultimately it was just sloppy. It was just sloppy storytelling, honestly, and the last 30 minutes were just a wreck. So I loved this movie in the first 2/3, and I would highly recommend everybody go check it out, but as soon as it gets to that last third. Second, let's talk about Entangled with You episodes 14 and 15. Entangled with You is an American web series about two roommates who become more than that. It is about Alicia and Julia, who are one straight and one gay, and they're both having lots of problems with their boyfriend and girlfriend specifically. And then they really combined and become new roommates, and then they bond as best friends. If you guys want to check out this web series, you can find it here on YouTube for free. So if you guys are watching this video, you have access to the series. Go check it out. As for my thoughts for these two episodes, I absolutely 100% loved them. They were great. The first episode was it was okay, but there was a lot of comedic things happening that I really enjoyed. Lots of intense, angry things, but at the same time there was a lot of comedy to undercut that and to make the episode enjoyable. Episode 15 was great because it was really about the bonding between these two best friends, Julia and her other best friend, not her roommate, Jen. And I loved that. It was very fun and relatable, and this is friendship. This is what it's like to be with your best friend, and I loved that. In addition, Jen and Cassie are absolutely great. Loved them in episode 15. They were once again just so wonderful. In fact, there was a moment where I was really like, you get her. You really get her. And I really enjoyed watching that. So go check it out. It's kind of lovely just for this couple alone. Next, we have Artifice, which is a webcomic that you guys can go check out. It is a sci-fi story about Deacon, who is an artificial intelligence, a synthetic, but is called an artificial intelligence. Honestly, I don't know what the difference is, but whatever. And essentially, he has botched a mission, right? He was sent out with a bunch of clone machines to kill a colony for holding a secret about the company that he works for. He was supposed to kill the last survivor, but he decided not to. And so this entire story is really beginning with him being interrogated by someone, and then going flashbacks to why that mission was botched and why he let that one survivor stay alive. So if you guys want to check out this webcomic, you can check it out for free. I'll have a link in the description below. Or you can buy the book. I'll have a link for that as well. As for my thoughts about this webcomic, I absolutely loved it. Once again, I absolutely loved it. I loved that it was so incredibly dramatic and theatrical. It honestly could be a stage production. It's so dialogue heavy that it's really kind of compelling as a dramatic story. Don't be afraid of that though. It's not like a boring, droll, like, oh, well, they shut up kind of story. There is action in it. There is a lot of intensity, and geez, is there a lot of romantic tension in this story. And this story is great because the two main characters have a lot, or two romantic characters have a lot of chemistry, and they are very kind of compelling in their connection. All three of the main characters are very, very strong and wonderful characters. Deacon is this badass robot character who changes into this like innocent little boy character. In addition to that, there's Dr. Maven, who is a very strong and compelling character, a very strong and compelling antagonist. And then there was Jeff, who was very relatable in his story. He's the gay character. He's the one we can all relate to. Generally, this is a very good comic. Go check it out, please. I promise you will like it. Please, please go check it out. I loved it. And lastly, we have Coming Out on Top. Coming Out on Top is a video game, an indie video game that came out about 2 years ago. It was a Kickstarter that released, and is a dating sim. It is an American one though, that is very focused on being an American story. The story follows college senior in his last semester, whose name you can change, and the first beginning of the game starts with him coming out to his roommates and best friends, and then the story kind of evolves to where you can go out and then interact with different people, and you can start a storyline with one of 6 or so, but also the creator was so generous and wonderful enough to actually stay committed to the game, and she created 10 independent one-off storyline and dates as well. Just a heads up, this is a not safe for work property, so kiddies, QFRs who are younger than like 14, do not check out this game, though you would have to, of course, buy it, so it's not really accessible to you anyway. If you guys want to buy this game, you can check it out down below. There's a link I'll have to where you can buy it for about $20, maybe $15. I'm not quite sure. In addition to that, there is a free demo. I'll have a link in the description below for that. But yeah, I generally love this game. I've been playing it for 2 years now. I loved playing the main storylines, and just about when I moved to this new house, I suddenly thought of it. It was like, oh, there are like 6 additional dates I haven't played. Let me play that. And I did. I specifically really liked the slight spoilers. The main story romances between the best friend Ian, which actually isn't a spoiler because they all show up in the title screen. And then Brad, the football player. I loved those 2 characters. They were great. And that is it for this last week's Queer Reviews. As for my ratings, I give My Bromance a 3 stars out of 5. I'm sorry guys. For the first 2 halves I would have given it a 5, but for the last third, I couldn't. It has to get 3 stars. In addition, I give Entangled with You episodes 14 and 15 a 5 stars out of 5, and the same for Artifice. And for Coming Out on Top, I give 4 stars out of 5. As for the next properties, images and link text right here. Go check that out. I don't know what I'm doing. And then on top of that, if you guys like this video, make sure to like it, to share it with your friends, and to subscribe and press the notification bell if you haven't already. Queer Fudanshi tries to share LGBTQ and BL media through news, reviews, and good conversation. So let's get talking. Bye. In addition, my wonderful OTP couple, I'd really just call them an OTP couple, but anyway,